Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Pause Resume show. I'm Alexandra and today with me I have Craig.
Hello, the long-awaited episode 7.
Well, I guess, yes, it has been a while since we did an actual episode other than Game of the Year. But here we are today and we're going to have a look forward into the rest of 2018 and see what there is to come.
Yep, now that we've got all this lovely new equipment, might as well just use it.
Exciting times.
This might even become regular, you never know.
You never know. Okay, so coming up very, very quickly, hot on our heels, probably will be out by the time people get to hear this, we have Sonic Mania Plus.
Are we going straight into this? The full list?
Yeah.
The full list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we might not go through every single game, but we'll go through what we feel like. And this is where we're going to first. Sonic Mania Plus.
For the record.
Out on July 17th.
Before we start this list.
In 3 days.
Yeah, the podcast might be out before Sonic Mania comes out. Before we start going through this list and looking at the games coming out this year, I think we should have a little sort of overview without mentioning names. I don't think it's been that great a year for video games. My personal
That
opinion.
hasn't been a lot, really, has there?
No, I mean, we've had God of War.
Yeah, God of War. Detroit
Celeste.
was alright. Celeste, you enjoyed Celeste?
I enjoyed Celeste. Some might say it's the game of the year.
Some might.
Some might say God of War is the game of the year.
Yeah. We also had Ni no Kuni.
Is that this year?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I got delayed.
Back in March, yeah. That was this year. A game I'd still like to have a look at. I mean, I haven't got around to it yet, but I haven't heard great things
Of what?
about Ni no Kuni.
I think the original was better,
Yeah.
to be honest, but
Uh,
I completely forgot that even came out, to be honest with you. Well, obviously, because I just said,
Obviously,
really?
yeah.
Is that this year?
Labo. Labo's been doing well. I mean, it's just got an update on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Fantastic. That's
You can now
exactly...
use your Labo motorbike.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make about Labo.
I want a Labo kit.
Cardboards.
If anyone's listening and would like to send me a Labo kit,
No.
feel free to.
Do not send
I
the
will
Labo
enjoy
kit
it.
to the offices. It will be used for packing, to be honest with you.
No, we'll use it and have fun and act
Maybe.
like children and stomp around as robots
Yeah.
if that is what we get.
Just to, yeah, maybe. I just think this year so far, and we're going to look through this list in a bit, I don't think it compares to last year.
No, definitely not. I think it's been quite weak first year, half of the year. Definitely, especially, as you say, if you compare it to last year. I mean, just the Switch as a console on its own, not being strong this year at all.
Well, I mean, the thing with last year is, there's been really, really good games this year. I mean, we mentioned a few, God of War, Celeste, etc., etc. But last year we had Zelda, Mario Odyssey, Nier Automata, and there was a few others. There were games that were just below those amazing ones that were also really, really good. And I think this year we're lacking that so far.
Yeah,
maybe,
definitely.
Maybe the next 6 months will prove me wrong,
I
but
hope
I'm
so.
not
I
overly
hope
optimistic.
the next 6 months will, but I mean, yeah, going by the first 6 months of the year, it has not been great.
So what's coming out then? What's next?
So yeah, next, as I was saying, as I was rudely interrupted earlier, is Sonic Mania Plus in 3 days' time on the 17th of July.
And what is the difference between Sonic Mania Plus and Sonic Mania?
That's what I was going to ask you.
I thought that was coming.
As an avid fan of Sonic.
Honestly, it's not much difference.
That's
It's
what I
basically
thought.
DLC. It's basically a retail
Yeah.
box.
I just thought it was a new box and some new levels. Is that right?
I believe there are new levels. There are definitely new characters. Fan favorite characters such as Ray the Flying Squirrel and the black thing that kind of looks like Sonic from Knuckles Chaotix. What's his name? Can't remember. But he was basically Sonic. He's basically Sonic. But yeah, I mean, it's Sonic Mania is great. I gave it 5 out of 5 last year. I'm inherently biased because that's all I played as a kid was the 2D Sonic games. I think they're fantastic. In fact, I was playing it today, Sonic Mania, funnily enough.
Oh.
So, if
in preparation?
No, not really. I just fancy playing it. So See, with Sonic Mania Plus, I would say if you've not played the
Think of
original.
Shadow.
No, come
That's
on.
what I wondered.
Did you just type in Black Hedgehog?
No,
What did
I
you type?
didn't.
What did you Google?
I'm not telling you.
God, what did you Google?
No,
Black
I'm
Sonic.
not telling you. I did not type that in.
You need to be careful when you're Googling Sonic characters, by the way.
Do
There
you?
is a strange community. Very strange Sonic community.
I have seen this
you do not
in the past.
Okay, I have not seen anything. I've only heard. So you are probably more knowledgeable than me. But there are some really weird things out there.
There is,
I will tell you what this does now. Oh, what is it? It's going to bug me. Bug. It is... Drum roll, please. Mighty the Armadillo. That's
there
it.
There we go.
I
That's not even like Sonic.
Mighty. Yeah, he plays like Sonic though.
Ah, that's what.
So fun story in Knuckles Chaotix. Do you know Knuckles Chaotix? It's
I have not played Knuckles Chaotix.
So Knuckles Chaotix was a game for the Sega Mega Drive 32X.
Okay.
Which no one bought.
No.
Basically.
Bit of
And originally it was, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying it was a game called Sonic Crackers, which was a game where Sonic and Tails held a ring each and they were basically tethered.
I
That
believe I've
game
seen that.
Turned into Knuckles Chaotix and they took Sonic and Tails out, and Mighty is basically the assets of Sonic that were left in the game. So that's a fun fact for you. I didn't think we'd be talking about Sonic Mania Plus for over 4 minutes or whatever it is, but here we are.
Well, let's move swiftly on to my most anticipated game of the year, coming on August 8th, Overcooked 2. Who is ready to get in the kitchen?
This is not a paid for advertisement, just to be clear. Yeah, no, Overcooked was the original was quite high on our Game of the Year list a couple of years ago.
Yes,
and there's obviously a good reason for it.
Amazing game.
Obviously,
one of my favourites.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a wee look. I think it was 5th or 6th.
It was very high, wasn't it?
Yeah, we tend on our list. We tend to have one indie game that's quite high on the list, and that was it for that.
Yeah,
year.
it was number 4.
God, how have you beaten me to that?
4 on 2016's list.
So the original Overcooked was officially better than Overwatch.
It was, according to us.
Suck it.
But they're both games I enjoyed, Overwatch and Overcooked. They were probably two of my favourite games of 2016.
So how can you... A sequel for a normal game means new powers, more levels.
Yeah.
With Overcooked, where you are just cooking... What
you make it sound so boring.
Why? I know, but it's not. Why?
I think for
Why
me,
is there a 2?
when the first one came out, like there wasn't a lot of couch co-op, and that immediately drew me in with Overcooked. Was that couch co-op capabilities of the game? And I've always liked games where you can cook. Diner Dash being one of my old favourites, you know. So that appealed to me as well. Like I say, being able to play with your friends, you can play online as well with Overcooked, the first one. So I think with Overcooked 2, what I'm hoping for is more crazy characters, because they had some great characters, and more crazy levels. I mean, some of those levels, oh my god, so damn hard.
My worry with Overcooked 2, and kind of it comes out a little bit towards the end of the first one, is that they overcomplicate things. And I've seen a little bit of Overcooked 2 recently.
Yes, we did watch a little
Seemed
bit.
quite overcomplicated already.
I mean, we were watching 4 people play on what we watched, so I think that makes a difference. I think it does get more crazy, like in some of the smaller levels, when you've got more players.
I think we'll see.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. One of the characters I saw was a unicorn, a multicoloured unicorn, so that excites me a lot.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be good. But I don't think it will capture the magic of the first one. And that speaks to how good the first one is.
No, I can see that. I mean, a lot of people are excited for it that I've spoken to that played the first one and are still playing the first game. So I think that says a lot as well, that people are still playing Overcooked. And there are a lot of people that do want Overcooked 2. me obviously being one of them. But
Yeah. Perfect Switch
yeah,
game.
definitely.
If you've got 4
Definitely,
Joy-Cons.
I'm excited to play it on the Switch. Because obviously played it on the PlayStation 4, the first one. So I am excited to play on the Joy-Con and see if that will make it harder.
On
Some of
the
those little
Joy-Con.
moves.
The Joy-Con. Anyway.
Well, with the smaller controller, I want to see how that's going to play out and how that's going to work. Yeah, okay. I'm excited.
Good.
If you hadn't noticed.
Someone else. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, here's one that you'll be very excited for. August 21st. Shenmue 1 and 2.
How do you spell Shenmue?
Not the way I have written it there.
Not the way you've written it.
That is incorrect.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shenmue 1 and 2. It's not really a remaster. It's not really a remake.
What is it?
It's basically the Dreamcast versions of the game with some slight differences.
What are these differences that have been discussed?
It's so minimal. It's probably not even worth mentioning, to be honest with you. Probably
I did laugh when I saw.
Probably the biggest one is the fact you can save anywhere. But the game was so intricately sort of woven together that it's a real challenge to do anything with that game, and even to get it running on anything other than a Dreamcast hardware or the original Xbox hardware, because the engine that Shenmue was built on was sort of custom built. To get that running anywhere else is a miracle, minor miracle anyway. So
you looking forward to replaying these games? Did
oh
you play
God,
the
yeah.
First ones? You did, didn't you?
Did I play the first ones? That's silly. Yeah, so I went through a long period of playing both games every summer, which I stopped doing a few years ago. But, it's been 19 years. First one came out in 1999, December 1999, in Europe anyway. So it's been an awful long time. I don't think they'll be received very well.
No?
I think they'll probably have aged quite poorly if you're coming into them fresh. For example, so the original Shenmue and Shenmue 2, I used the D-pad, or you had to use the D-pad to move your character, because it just made sense.
Obviously.
Whereas now that's a really weird concept. And even back then it was slightly dying at that point, but I'm not sure how it's going to handle moving with the stick now.
Yeah, I think that's always a challenge, and I think recreating that initial excitement in people with an old game like that is always difficult. I mean, we've had a few games like it recently come out, but then would be more remasters and stuff like Last Guardian and stuff, and Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay. So Last Guardian's not a remaster, but yeah, Shadow, yeah.
I know that. I meant like.
Yeah. Like, a difference. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the difference between those games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has the potential ability to put people off Shenmue 3, but I would hope it doesn't, because obviously Shenmue 3 has a completely new engine.
And that's just been delayed again, hasn't it?
It was delayed a few months ago
to
2019, but it was like the worst kept secret ever. But no, Shenmue 1 and 2 are really important in terms of like historical reference in video games, because when Shenmue 1 and 2 came out, it came out at a time where, all the other games looked really terrible, to be honest with you. Shenmue 1 and 2 back in the day looked real. Shenmue 1 and 2 introduced the idea of quick time events. Even things like, they had commercially branded stuff in there. Like they had this, I think it's Psycho, Time Watch there, Coca-Cola.
They had Coca-Cola.
All that was pretty cool. They had real weather.
Yeah.
Like, that was mind-blowing back then, and they had the exact weather from Yokosuka in 1987 where the game's set, and then when you go to Hong Kong, they have the weather from there. So, yeah, I mean, I'm buzzing to play both those games again. Like I said, I've been waiting for, is it 19 years? Is it not longer? No, it's 19 years.
9,
so
20 years next year.
Yeah, so when Shenmue 3 comes around, I've literally been waiting 21 years to finish this. Well, it's not even finished. Shenmue 3 is not going to finish it. So I've been waiting 21 years to continue the story, and yet someone is going to walk into a game store in August, pick up Shenmue 1 and 2, and then have to wait like 4 months, which is slightly annoying, but that's fine.
That's the way the games industry can be, though, sometimes, isn't it? I mean, as avid gamers, you
well,
have to get used to that.
If Sega didn't die and spend all their money, I probably would have already finished playing
3.
Shenmue.
But
bring on Shenmue 4.
I think having Shenmue 3 coming so late could be a good thing for the series. Like, obviously these fans have waited so long, including yourself.
Shenmue 3 can be
and I think
delayed.
it might revitalise the series in a way, ready for the fourth one.
Shenmue 3 can be delayed until 2025. Get that out when it's ready and not a moment before.
Exactly, and that's
basically
what fans have said all along. I mean, a lot of people cried, obviously, when it was announced that they were even doing it. So I think that sheds a lot about the fans for Shenmue.
I think the fans for Shenmue would literally have accepted a book to finish the story.
Exactly.
So the fact
That's
the
what
game
I'm
is
saying,
coming
yeah.
is crazy. And the fact...
And I think it's going to run and look amazing on the PlayStation 4, from what we've seen. I'm hoping, anyway.
Hey, it's real. And Sega are quite smart to get Shenmue 1 and 2 out. To
jump on that bandwagon.
Get some money in their bag. Apparently, Sega are looking and watching. Apparently, the future of Shenmue, or well, not the future of Shenmue, but well, I don't know. Something Sega are saying they're watching to see what happens with the 1 and 2 remasters as to what happens moving forward. Does that mean Shenmue 4? I don't know. Does Yu Suzuki have the rights to do Shenmue 4, or are Sega talking about something else?
I guess we will find out in due course.
Yeah, we're not going to find out now, so. You're
Well.
spot on. What else? Well, I could sit here and do a whole podcast on Shenmue. So
I know you could. So yes, let's move on to a game that people have said you're not very good at on our old YouTube channel.
That doesn't narrow it down.
F1 2018, also in August.
Can I just say, we had one of the only F1 video reviews out there.
We did.
So the fact that I'm terrible at the game, people need to overlook that.
Plus, you aren't actually terrible at the game, are you, Craig?
I am pretty terrible.
Well, you're not.
I'm
though.
not. I'm okay. I'm not.
I wouldn't say you're terrible, like people have said online.
Hey, that's up to
I
them.
wouldn't say you're the best player,
What are we talking about F1 for?
but yeah. Oh, it's coming.
Okay,
The
fantastic.
new game is coming.
Fantastic.
Are we going to see more of your driving?
Probably not.
But we're all anticipating.
I'll be playing.
Hotly anticipating.
I'll be playing Shenmue 1 and 2.
Craig Shields driving on F1 2018.
I'll be playing Shenmue 1 and
In
2.
August.
I'll do forklift racing from Shenmue 1.
We'll get a video on that.
Handles better, but there's no damage.
Well, we'll see. Craig might let
Craig-
us see him driving.
Craig won't.
He might.
Anyway,
What have we got next? I think it's Pro Evo 2018. We also, obviously, later this year have the new FIFA game. Obviously, that's quite a bit after this Pro Evo.
we don't really know much about. Well, do you know what? That's a lie. We know bits and pieces. Obviously,
Yeah.
we know that both games are basically going to be the same. We know FIFA have stolen all the licenses, including Champions League and Europa League.
How do you think that's going to affect Pro Evo?
I think we're at the point now where the people who buy Pro Evo will buy it anyway because they appreciate the gameplay and they're not fussed about the licenses. And everyone else who is fussed about the licenses will buy FIFA
I do enjoy having the
until
licenses.
they run it into the ground.
Well, yeah. I do enjoy having the licenses.
Thanks, EA.
But I do prefer the style of Pro Evo and the way it handles.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a real shame that EA and FIFA have, got all the rights to everything and basically ran Pro Evo out.
We'll see. It depends on Konami as well. They're in a weird state at the minute where they're kind of in video games. They do video games, but they're kind of the health stuff they do is making them billions.
So it's making them a lot.
Billions of yen.
So it wouldn't be surprising if they stopped making Pro Evo after this year.
I think it would be, but
Well,
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. If it happens, I said it now. So, yeah, I think it is sad what's happening with Pro Evo. Okay, so that's enough about Pro Evo. Let's move on to September. We see a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man swinging in on the 7th of September.
What the hell was that? That was really weird. Went from being sad about Pro Evo to being kind of weirdly happy about Spider-Man. Anyway, when is that out?
He is swinging in.
Swinging, okay.
On the 7th of September.
Not politely knocking then. Prick. Yeah, yeah. PS4 exclusive Spider-Man.
How are we feeling about Spider-Man, Craig?
I don't really know. It looks cool.
I haven't really seen much of the footage, in all honesty. I've not seen the trailers either.
Well, it's not much. What are you going to bring to the table here then? Yes.
I think I saw like a bit of the trailer, but I can't really remember.
Yeah. So the thing with Spider-Man that not many people spoke about actually. Everyone's very excited for Spider-Man. Very pumped. Oh, it's coming from Insomniac. It's PS4 exclusive. Sony's money's behind it. You know, Marvel movies are, massively in fashion at the minute. At some point they'll die off, but it doesn't look like it'll be anytime soon.
Yeah.
This doesn't look too different from some of the older Spider-Man games
that's
that
what I'm
people
hoping
gave
it's not.
that people gave 7 out of 10 to and 8 out of 10. I don't think.
So I felt the old Spider-Man games were a bit funny. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've cut you off.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the Spider-Man game will be fine. I think it will be good. I'm not sure it will be epic god tier level that people are hoping for, especially based on Insomniac's past track record. They make really good games, really solid games. I don't think they've really made I don't think they've made a 9 out of 10 game. That might seem a bit harsh. Or a 5 out of 5 game. Or
what was it they
whatever.
had out before Spider-Man?
Ratchet and Clank, Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox.
Oh, yeah. Again, good games, but...
I think Spider-Man... Is it Spider-Man? What's it called? Amazing Spider-Man?
I think it is The Amazing Spider-Man.
No, it's just Spider-Man, isn't it? I'm getting mixed up with all the Spider-Man movies. It's just Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
I mean, that's what I wrote down was Spider-Man, but you threw me off then.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Well, there's so many movies and stuff. I was originally going to call it Spider-Man Homecoming, but that's the movie.
That is the movie, yes, definitely. My fear for the new Spider-Man game is, something I didn't like from the old games was the swinging.
There is swinging.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't like the fact...
You cannot have a Spider-Man game without swinging.
No, I know that. But what I didn't like about the swinging was that you could swing anywhere. Even if there was nothing to swing from.
You need to attach your... What do you call it?
Exactly.
Sling to something in this game.
Exactly. That is what I want. I didn't understand not having something I could attach my web to but still swing.
I don't mind that. Because
it just felt weird and pointless to me, and I'd rather not swing at those moments.
The thing is, at points in games, you have to suspend your realism to make it fun and playable. Like, for example, in The Last of Us, you're Joel, Ellie's following you around. Sometimes Ellie's AI goes a bit funny. Very rarely. Sometimes it goes a bit funny. She walks right in front of an enemy, and the enemy doesn't see her, because technically you, as Joel, have not been seen. I mean, if it was the case where... the enemy sees Ellie and then all of a sudden it's alert, I'd be kind of pissed off because it's not my fault as a player. But
I don't know. That's just something that used to niggle me quite a bit.
I guess so.
Yeah,
it can be.
I did enjoy the other games, but as I say, I haven't seen too much of this one. You say that we have to swing from a building, so that is good for me.
As far as I'm aware, you have to attach something.
Yeah.
The last E3 trailer was Spider-Man swinging around sort of a little... I don't want to call it an island, but I think it sort of is an island with all mechanical things around the outside, known as bricks and metal structures. that the sling was... It's not a sling, is it? I don't know what to call it.
Web shooter.
The white thing. Sticks to.
It's a web shooter. He shoots
a web
from his web shooter.
Yeah, so the web was sticking to these bits and pieces. He's flying. Okay. Flying? Swinging, jumping. Spider-Man cannot fly. Yet. Maybe later. Maybe that's DLC. Yeah, who knows? No, I think it'll be a good game, but I think it's disappointing that that's pretty much the biggest PS4 exclusive this year.
It is, yeah. There isn't too much else that is coming that is exclusive to the PlayStation 4. There isn't much. I think moving on, we have next Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Lara Croft.
Yes.
It's back again.
Miss Croft herself is back again in September.
Thank God.
14th.
Because we need a hero.
Everyone needs a hero.
Because Spider-Man is not enough. Especially if he has to point his web shooters manually. He cannot do it. Not on his own.
Excuse me.
Cough break. That's all right. I'll talk for a bit while you cough.
Sorry.
So the thing with Tomb Raider, again, I'm not really that excited for this. Maybe I'm just miserable.
I'm excited.
Maybe I'm just miserable seeing this year.
I think so.
Because I started the Let's Look to 2018 podcast, all these games coming. I started it with, it's not been a great year. But
I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I mean, there doesn't seem to be a lot of improvement on the last game, but it does look like it'll be a fun game. There's more tombs, which is exciting, obviously. Tomb Raider should have more tombs, and I think it'll be good.
I think it'll be fine. I think it's important to note that this is a different team. It's been passed on to team escapes me at the minute. I think it's one of the IDOS teams anyway. It's not Crystal Dynamics doing it because they're working on the Avengers game. So I think this is literally just if you liked Rise of the Tomb Raider, here's more of that. Plus some weird stealth mechanics that they've added to it. But again, I think a little bit like Spider-Man, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like top of anyone's game of the year. Although maybe, with the year looking how it is, perhaps it might be near the top for some people.
No,
I said near, not at the top.
No, it won't.
You never know.
It'll be fine. It'll be serviceable.
You never know, Craig. Some people like Lara a lot.
Too much. It's that weird Sonic community, probably.
Well, maybe. I cannot comment on that.
Yeah. I think it's fine, but we're at the point where this Tomb Raider style is dying, and it needs fresh innovation, fresh impetus. And I don't mean just here's a graphical upgrade.
Yeah, I mean
something else.
They took quite a bit from Uncharted, a lot of inspiration, or it seemed to at least. And I think, obviously, without Uncharted, really now. Well, we don't know really what's happening with Uncharted, but
doing a movie.
Unlikely. Well, yeah, but it seems unlikely there'll be another game.
Nathan Fillion's going to be Drake.
Yeah, I know someone is excited for that, as you may have gathered.
I'm not that excited. It's just news that I know.
Okay.
So I'm going to share it.
All right. Congratulations. You've lost my whole train of thought. But right. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, where they've taken inspiration from Uncharted in the past, obviously they can't really at the moment. So I think that's going to be interesting to see what they do with Tomb Raider.
You might say to freshen up Tomb Raider, they need to go into Uncharted territory.
I apologise, everyone. I am sorry. Let's move on swiftly from that onto
that's quite good.
A game that is also coming out in September. Life is Strange 2.
Yeah, September's...
There's quite a bit in September, to be fair.
Yeah.
There's a few we haven't mentioned, obviously.
Yeah, there's a September is an okay month this year, this time around.
I think, obviously Life is Strange 2 coming out. We just
I wonder how that will do. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I've just been playing the Captain Spirit.
How was that?
Free stuff. I haven't got, completed it.
Considering it's short, that doesn't bode well.
No. I mean, it looks like a great idea, and it looks really cute, and it looks really fun, and it looks interesting. But playing it, I found it to be a bit... it's not really adding anything for me to the Life is Strange world.
Is that just because you just don't know at the minute?
It might be.
Maybe after you play 2, it might be, sense.
But I just think it's not as... The controls don't feel as loose, and I'm not really getting into it as much as I have the other 2, and I've really enjoyed the other 2 a lot. So it makes me nervous for Life is Strange 2. In all honesty.
Do we know who made Captain Spirit? Is that Don't Nod?
I believe so.
Because the
Believe
interesting
so.
thing about
Have a
them
look.
is obviously originally they made Remember Me, which ironically everyone's forgotten about, and then they made Life is Strange, and then I'm wondering if they actually have two teams now at Don't Nod, because obviously they came out with Vampire. Is that
Yeah.
Vampire or Vampire? It's really
Vampire, isn't it?
Vampire.
Captain Spirit, yeah.
So-
Don't Nod.
I wonder if they've actually got two teams now,
Mm.
and maybe I don't want to say lesser team, but the team who didn't work on Life is Strange 1 actually worked on Vampire and Captain Spirit, while the Life is Strange 1 team worked on Life is Strange 2. But
I mean, we watched that interview recently when Captain Spirit was released. Not long before that, wasn't it? At E3, actually. And they said that they created it.
I don't know. Considering
And that was Don't Nod that said that they created it.
considering what an
Like
awful
the main guys that came up with the original Life is Strange said they created Captain Spirit. So
considering what an awful place Telltale are in at the minute with their games and their game engine, which they're now revamping, this is actually a really good opportunity for Don't Nod to be like, hey, we're the guys when it comes to these types of games, not Telltale. So that will be interesting.
yeah,
If they nail this, they might be the ones that end up getting, obviously not Game of Thrones and Batman, but maybe like other stuff. They might get other stuff off the back of it. You never know.
Yeah, you never
And
know.
they might grow like Telltale was, because Telltale 5 years ago were nothing.
No, and Telltale have done a lot now. Like, it's crazy.
What haven't they done?
Exactly. Like, there's not much they
They're
haven't
even
done.
doing games on Netflix.
Yeah, which is
That's-
crazy. Like, I don't even understand how that's going to work, but
Who knows?
madness. Absolute madness. Anyway, moving on. Again, yeah, we have Forza Horizon 4, October 2nd. And, I mean, Forza games have always been pretty much the same. But I think this one looks quite good. Obviously, it's set in Great Britain. And the world looks stunning.
Yeah, it looks good. Obviously, this is the Horizon series, so slightly different from the mainline Forza ones. So it's a bit more arcadey.
Yeah.
But again, like we just said about Spider-Man, that's the only exclusive for PlayStation this year, and Forza Horizon 4 is basically the only exclusive for Xbox One this year, which is really disappointing. But I think these are all signs pointing towards everyone is now focusing on the next consoles.
Yeah, definitely.
Horizon 4 looks lovely though.
It looks stunning. I like the weather concept thing. It all looks pretty cool.
Looks so stunning. It makes you think, do we need new consoles?
I don't think so. Not yet.
It's a bit early.
Personally, I think
a
it's
wee
too
bit early.
early. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a consumer. So
You just buy.
yeah. But I also think it's interesting that their studio has obviously just been bought by Xbox and Microsoft. I know what I'm hoping from that, but
I think out of all the ones, that one just made sense because they've worked with Microsoft now on 4 Forza Horizon games, so that just made sense. So, and if the rumors are true and they are doing the Fable game,
which I really hope they
that's interesting. Especially because obviously Forza Horizon 4 being set in the UK,
yeah,
that's kind of Fable's aesthetic, is this UK
esque sort of world.
Yeah.
I don't know. It excites me. I mean, if they are doing Fable, I am very, very excited for that. And it will probably be something I buy on day one.
Knowing Microsoft, it's probably not Fable, but something maybe similar.
Probably. Unfortunately, knowing what they are like. But
I hope they call it Peter Molyneux RPG. And it just tells you it's going to be everything, and then it's nothing. Just outright lie about it.
On
I'm sorry, Peter.
That's all right. I'm sure he's not even listening.
Hey, that guy made a game about Cube and got people tapping their phones before it was cool.
Yes, he did.
It's called Curiosity.
I think
Killed the
Playground,
cat.
though, if they are creating Fable, I mean, they've always said on their own website that they want to be the best at what they do and they want to be the best at different things. And that's not the exact quote. I can't remember what the exact quote is off their website. And obviously, with Forza games and Forza Horizon and creating those worlds, I would say they probably are some of the best.
They arguably make better Forza games than the Forza team.
Yeah, exactly.
And Turn 10.
Yeah.
So.
And I think they have proven that they have become the best at that. So if they are creating a Fable, I think that is exciting. But as I said, we'll see what's to come. Let's move on now, unless Craig wants to mention anything else there.
No.
No?
What about Forza?
Yeah.
No, not really.
No?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's part of it's in Scotland, so that's cool for me. But I'm pretty sure you can see my grand's house. But anyway.
So yeah, going to a completely different world, we're at Assassin's Creed Odyssey. October 5th. Seems very soon. I think from the last game.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, Assassin's Creed had that year off.
Mm-hmm.
Came back with Origins, which was fantastic.
Amazing, yeah.
And kind of everyone, like, Origins has got so much content, especially if you buy the DLC as well, that Odyssey is probably coming out too soon.
I think it's coming out too soon, Odyssey.
And to be honest with you, it's exactly the same. It's okay. I don't want to say it's exactly the same game, but
it looks almost like a reskin.
It's basically the same, but set in ancient Greece. Everything's very similar. Having said that, it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be good. But are people going to have the time?
I don't know. I have to ask them.
I am.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, there's other stuff coming out. I know there's one game in particular that we'll come to in a minute, which will probably kill a lot of the games on this list, and it's probably
Super Mario Party.
No, not Super Mario Party. But I think Assassin's Creed is back on track.
Yeah, I mean, the last Assassin's Creed was great, and everyone's enjoyed it.
I think this one is almost like an experimental one, because obviously we can choose which character we want. There's dialogue choices, all kind of new stuff for an Assassin's game. But that also makes me think, this isn't really that important in Ubisoft's eyes.
Yeah,
compared to the next one.
I don't think they've put as much effort into Odyssey as they did into Origins, in my opinion. And from what we've seen, as I say, it looks kind of more like a reskin, and then it's got some slightly different things, as you've just mentioned.
Especially when...
doesn't seem like a big effort for them.
Yeah, especially when Ubisoft are already talking about the next Assassin's Creed game and talking about having it on entire continents and having it span different time spans. So, again, I think they're looking towards next gen.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think... I get confused between Origins and Odyssey. Odyssey's the one coming out, isn't it?
I
think Odyssey will be serviceable. I think Odyssey will be good. I don't think it'll be a massive change from Origins.
No.
So I think it'll be, if you enjoyed Origins, you're going to enjoy this one. If you didn't, you're not going to enjoy this one.
Agreed. Completely agreed. And then, yeah, as I briefly mentioned, Super Mario Party is also out the same day for all you Nintendo fans.
The big Switch game for this year. Super Mario Party.
Gonna have a party.
Not to be confused with Thomas Partey, who plays for Atletico Madrid in Spain.
Definitely not to be confused with him.
Although imagine if he turned up as a character, I would be well happy. Anyway.
Now, I have never truly played a Mario Party game.
You are missing out.
I tried to play it on my own, which was pretty sad. I'm not going to lie.
That is interesting.
And that was on the DS. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm excited to actually play a Mario Party with people.
Yep.
And I think the Switch is a good system for it.
I think it will work really well on the Switch. I have to say.
Yeah.
I think almost to the point where I think Switch is perfect for a Mario Party game.
I mean, you did say that when the Switch came out, you thought that Super Mario Party would be great on it.
Yeah, especially when if you think about it, a Switch out of the box comes with 2 controllers.
Yeah, straight away.
So,
which again is something that I think is great for Overcooked.
Yeah. I think Overcooked will be a better party game than Super Mario Party, but what do I know?
We'll see. I mean, Mario Party has the little mini games over Overcooked. Overcooked is just one base game, whereas Mario Party obviously has all its mini games and.
People just play Mario Party for the mini games, not for the board game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's got all those mini games, and that's what people enjoyed about Mario Party.
Actually,
so I think it'll be solid.
Fun fact: I burnt my hand doing a mini game on Mario Party 64.
How?
You have to rotate the joystick, and where the N64 joystick's got ridges. It was a known thing. It happened to loads of people. Like it burns your hand.
That seems dangerous.
It was very dangerous, but you have to do these things sometimes. Sometimes injuring yourself means you beat your friends.
It does, and sometimes it is worth it just for that.
Yep.
So let's move on from Mario to the Wild Wild West.
Will Smith is coming back. Wild Wild West 2. It's the sequel you wanted. It's the movie that's coming.
Out.
In cinemas.
Cinemas, October. No. That is not happening, I'm afraid. But in October 26th, you can play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep. And you can roll straight into the Wild Wild West.
Can.
When you roll into the Wild Wild West. When I stroll into the Wild West.
Okay, I don't think we need that rendition
I've got
right
that
now,
song stuck
Craig.
in my head now, so.
Why don't you tell us about Red Dead?
What, the original?
Yeah, about the original.
The original.
And why people are excited.
Okay, so if we're talking about the original Red Dead, I'm not talking about Red Dead Redemption. I'm talking about Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah.
I believe it was called.
It was, yeah.
The more popular version of another Wild West game called Gun, which came out on the Xbox 360. And did it? Actually, I'm not sure what it came out on. I think it was.
Did come out on 360.
Was it 360?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So anyway, enough about Gun and Red Dead Revolver. A lot of people remember Red Dead Redemption, which was this amazing open world Wild West game with John Marston. Had a good story.
Yeah, 360.
Had a really weird middle, a long middle when you got to Mexico. But yeah, it was a fantastic game. It was a game of its time. Everyone loved it. So to have a sequel now coming, so long after that game, I think it's 9 years since that game came out.
It's a long time.
This Red Dead Redemption 2 is the reason why this year is not great in video games, because no one wants to release near it.
No one.
Because it is going
Which
to
is a shame,
sell
I think.
like hotcakes.
I think it would be nice to see some healthy competition there.
Yeah, but I think the only things that could possibly compete with Red Dead Redemption 2 are games that don't compete with Red Dead Redemption 2. So, for example, if Mario Odyssey was coming out this year,
I think
that would have went up against it.
Yeah.
It would have been fine. Even Zelda.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
something like, I'm surprised Assassin's Creed is releasing this year because of Red Dead. Because if you're going to go for one open world game that's going to eat your time up, it's going to be the one that hasn't had a sequel for 9 years.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about Odyssey. I don't think a lot of people are going to go for it this year, unfortunately.
We'll see. But
I mean, for myself and probably other people sort of my age and younger, we were too young to play the first one, so...
Too young?
Well, I was.
Makes you sound like you're 16.
Well, I wasn't even 16 when the first one came out. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
You know. I was 14
There you go.
when Red Dead Redemption came out.
The thing I like most about the original Red Dead Redemption, obviously it was at a time when DLC wasn't... It was popularised, but no one had did it well. They did it well. They had the DLC pack, Undead Nightmare, that just gave you loads of horror stuff throughout the whole game again. And it was really well done. It was really meaty content. It wasn't that much. And, that was seen as the blueprint for DLC moving forward, which unfortunately didn't kind of happen, really.
Even now, I would say between the two, that is the one that sells the most. Obviously, from where I work on a day-to-day basis, that is the one that we sell the more of, is the Nightmare Edition one. Rather than the normal, original Red Dead Redemption. So
Value for money.
It's interesting, though. I do find it interesting. So, yeah. Anyway, a game that we were quite late onto the bandwagon of when it came out has coming up with a sequel in November. And that is Hitman. Now, we really enjoyed the last one, didn't we?
Yeah. Again, I worry for Hitman 2.
Yeah. Rightly so, I would say.
I think.
With it coming out then.
Again, it's in that spot just after Red Dead. I also wonder if the move to go to non-episodic is smart.
Yeah, I mean, I
as
quite
well.
enjoyed the episodic. And I think it's more likely to bring more people in over time after Red Dead has come out, if they were to keep it episodic. But
Yeah. I mean, you have to wonder. They must have done the calculations
I hope so.
at their end. I'm sure IO are well aware of the decision they've made, and there's obviously reasons for it.
And
but
obviously, it's
just-
still a game we could see delayed again.
Yeah, just from the outside looking in, I'm not sure. Can they capture that magic again they did with their first or the last Hitman game?
Yeah,
I hope they do,
I hope so,
because
because
it
it
was
was really fun.
it was very special, especially in a world where, okay, it's not a stealth game per se, but it's sort of like a I don't know how to describe it, a visible stealth. You're hiding in plain sight type thing, and we're in a world now
Definitely.
where there are no stealth games. Metal Gear Solid is dead.
It is,
But it basically
unfortunately.
doesn't exist.
No.
Splinter Cell is missing in action. Come on, Ubi, what's going on? We know it's coming. You don't just have Michael Ironside in to do a 5-minute cameo in Ghost Recon.
Or
and
maybe they
there's-
do.
You know, and what else in terms of stealth? There was the Siphon Filter, which
I mean,
we have
everything's been killed off,
not
basically.
seen since PS1.
And I think I loved the hiding in plain sight part of Hitman, like putting on a different disguise and
There's another game that
being
does
invisible.
hiding in plain sight very well. Mission Impossible 64. Just for the record, I used to love that. I think there's like an embassy level, and you have to change your outfit. I really used to enjoy that a lot. I used to replay that level a lot. But anyway,
You look like you enjoyed that. a
I
lot.
did. I might
Massive grin on his face.
I might have to get it back actually. Now that we acquired a new N64.
We have.
But I hope Hitman 2 does well. I hope it is not killed by the other bigger games.
I
around
mean,
there.
obviously, then straight after the next day, it's got Fallout 76 to also compete with, which is of course likely to take a lot of people away from Hitman, just with the nature of Fallout games, really, and how well they've been doing recently.
This is slightly different though, isn't it? Because it's not. It is a Fallout game, of course, but it's not a Fallout game. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's different. I'm quite excited though.
Why? Bless you.
Thank you. No, I think the online multiplayer. The play style is completely different. So you play with online multiplayer mode always on, but it's not like a multiplayer mode. It can be, but it can be a co-op multiplayer.
It's a always connected world.
Yeah. And I've not played a game like that before, and I find it interesting, and I would like
Lies.
to experience it.
Destiny.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, by the time I played Destiny, there weren't too many mods around, so I didn't really see anyone.
You got lucky.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, multiplayer on Destiny, I loved that. Like, the multiplayer, I was quite good at that. But the single-player stuff, I didn't actually come across many people. So, yeah, no, I'm quite excited by Fallout 76.
I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you. I think everyone was a little disappointed with Fallout 4, but I went back to Fallout 4 quite recently, and it's a better game than a lot of people give it credit for. There are bugs, there are glitches. A game of that size will have that. With
Of
Fallout
course.
76, I don't know what to think about at the minute. Bethesda, historically a very single player orientated studio.
Definitely. But that's what I think is exciting. I think it's a new journey for them as well. So they will have put a lot of time and effort into this game, and that excites me.
In my viewpoint, the way I'm looking at it, if I'm Bethesda, obviously they wanted to get their blueprint out there for the next few years. So obviously everyone knows that they're creating Starfield. That's their next game.
Yep.
That's nowhere near close to release.
No.
Everyone knows that after that is the Elder Scrolls 6.
Scrolls 6.
Probably Elder Scrolls 6 Hammerfell is probably what's going to be called.
Yep.
That means there is no Fallout 5 for probably 10 years.
Yeah.
So, like they did with the gap between Skyrim and the next Elder Scrolls, Elder Scrolls Online, I think Fallout 76, they've already said they're going to constantly support it, constantly update. I think this is the thing to keep the Fallout brand and name going for at least a few more years.
Yeah. Until they're ready to
until Fallout 5.
Discuss Fallout 5
which is probably a bit crazy. We've been talking about Fallout 5, considering they've barely started work on Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls. We'll probably give them some time, but I think this is their Fallout 76 will probably be going for. I think that in their eyes they would like to keep it going for 10 years.
I think like with Elder Scrolls Online, obviously they have constantly supported that, and the people that play it, they really enjoy it, and that's what I'm hoping with Fallout 76. That it's a game that we'll really enjoy. I am quite excited. It's set in West Virginia. We've got some of the creatures that we've watched on other YouTube channels, like Mothman and stuff there. And I'm quite excited about it. I am. And I know it is different for them, but I did enjoy the last Fallout. I think it's unfair when people review a game based on just the glitches that they see and stuff. Because for me, that didn't... Like, some of it was annoying at times, but it didn't affect my gameplay of the game. It was just a bit of a niggle sometimes, but I think people attribute too much to that sort of thing in their reviews sometimes, which is obviously something we try to not do.
It's important to mention it. I mean, at the end of the day, if I had had the problems with Fallout 4 that I'd had with Skyrim, I had massive problems with Skyrim, to the point where it broke my 80-hour save.
I mean, yeah, obviously, if it's something like that, then that's going to really piss people off. We didn't create stuff have that many issues, I don't think.
There's less and less excuses for glitches and bugs in games because of... I'll go back to it again. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is an almost flawless game in every shape, in every way possible. Yeah. There's barely any glitches and bugs in that thing. You know, maybe that's because the game was built on a kind of physics-first idea. Yeah. Before,
I think the way Nintendo make their games is slightly different as well to a lot of studios.
But I can only imagine the discussions that went on inside Bethesda once they got hold of that game. Because you know that every single development team in the world has tried to pick that game apart. But like, how have they done this? Why is this running so smoothly? And why is it not breaking?
But I think, again, part of that is time. Like, Nintendo give games the time to be finished and made.
They're so did Bethesda, but
yeah, Bethesda have, yeah.
It's probably a problem more with their engine than anything else. But.
Yeah. But I'm excited for 76.
I think it will be fine. I just don't think it will be what people want from a Fallout game. But I think those who look past that, those who look past the fact it's not a traditional Fallout game, we'll probably see that it's actually in its own right quite a good game.
And I do think you have to go in open-minded.
But don't expect to bomb Megaton.
Yeah. Another game coming just 2 days. Sorry?
Another one.
2 days after.
Yeah, just stop with these games.
Well, that's
got time
3
to play
games in 3 days, Craig.
He's got time.
3 days, 3 games. 4 days, sorry. 3 games. 13th, 14th now. We've got the 16th of November. And that's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So, I play Pokemon Go an insane amount. Like, not as much as some people I know. Like, I know people that are crazy with Pokemon Go and constantly play it, going after those shinies and have, like, all of the first gen already, and it's crazy.
You've got to catch them all. That's what they tell me. I don't know. That's what someone on the street told me.
That is true. And we have to catch them all. But We have lives as well, some of us. So.
No. You have to catch them all. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes here.
But, yeah, so Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are meant to work with Pokemon Go and allow you to use your Pokemon from Pokemon Go on the Switch.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, as Pokemon Go fans...
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Pokemon Go is.
Pokemon Go is free.
Yeah.
Pokemon Let's Go
Let's
is
Go
not.
is not, no. But
No.
I think the way that Nintendo have looked at something Niantic have done, like with their characters, and now they're working with them, I think it could be interesting. Like, obviously it's not a full Pokemon game, which is what people want, and that's what people want to see on the Switch, but for the Pokemon Go fans, I think it is a great addition for them, because a lot of them already have a Switch as well, because they like that on-the-go sort of gameplay.
Or if they
and
don't
game
have a
style.
Switch, this is a reason to get one.
Yeah, and I know people that are also holding out for buying a Switch for this game.
This is a stripped down version of the normal Pokemon games.
Yeah.
But it's a good entry point for people on Go or young children who have played Go
Definitely.
and now ready to make that step. Because obviously the next mainline Pokemon game is out next year.
Next year, of course.
So
yeah.
it's a good in between.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with it.
I think a lot of people will be disappointed.
Yeah, I think if you haven't played Pokemon Go, or you played it a little bit to begin with, and then you go on to this, you're going to be disappointed.
No, I wouldn't
think,
even say
but-
people with Pokemon Go. You're proper Pokemon fans who
Oh
have
God, yeah. If they
been around
come and
for
pick this up
ages.
and they're going to be deeply, deeply disappointed and upset with this game, and there'll probably be a big backlash from those people.
That's why they said that there's the main one's coming next year
Yeah.
to appease those. But I still think a lot of people would be like, this is it. Because I don't think there's much to this game. But
No.
to be honest, we've not seen enough. But it looks like it's very bare bones.
It kind of seems, obviously, with Pokemon Go, you wander around, you catch your Pokemon, you go to the gyms, you fight other Pokemon. And Let's Go kind of seems like that, but on a console, and you're not obviously walking around. But you can also fight, like, Misty and stuff as well. I think, I don't think it'll do too badly, but as I say, there will be a big backlash from the hardcore Pokemon fans. But obviously, Pokemon Go is doing well. It's just had another big update yesterday. There's a big event at the moment going on. It'll be over, obviously, by the time this comes out.
Tough.
But it's constantly being updated, and I think that works well for Nintendo. Obviously, they are working with Niantic, but
Yeah, only on Go. But but I'm surprised that it's taken this long to get a Pokemon on the Switch.
it's
I
taken a
guess there is
while.
Pokemon Quest, but I don't know. Then again, the Switch isn't actually that old, is it? It's still not
It's
even
not.
2 years old,
No,
thinking
no,
about it.
it's not.
It feels like it's been around for ages. I think it's because we've had Zelda,
And obviously, you
Mario.
have Pokken
That
on
doesn't
the
count.
Switch.
That doesn't count.
But that was Wii U as well.
Oh no, what's that? I forgot about that. No, the Wii U.
Pokken was alright though.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, but no, Pokken's fine. The Wii U, not so much.
I enjoyed the Wii U.
The only good thing the Wii U is for is ambulance jokes, but anyway.
But the last one on our list for tonight.
Last one.
Well, we could obviously discuss some more if you want to. The last one I've got planned for tonight is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, December 7th, the one you've all been waiting for.
So this is interesting because we've had, especially after E3, a lot of people saying, "Oh, Nintendo, what's going on with this year the Switch library?" And
Yeah, I mean, we were meant to have Paper Yoshi, and he's disappeared.
so there's a lot of things that haven't been revealed. I'm believe / have heard that another Nintendo Direct is incoming, including games for the back end of this year. Don't think it's anything major, but probably some interesting stuff. That will also probably look towards early next year as well. But
and
anyway,
obviously they're supporting third-party games a lot on the Switch.
um,
Indie titles.
Yeah, it's more
Obviously more
indie
than
stuff.
third party.
But yeah, the interesting thing about all this, everyone's complaining about Nintendo. Where's the games? Where's the games? Where's the games? Nintendo have got 3 pretty decent, solid exclusives. The other platforms do not.
Mhm.
The other platforms
Have like one each.
Basically one each. Whereas on the Switch, we've obviously got Super Mario Party, the Pokemon games, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I know I said earlier that it was a miracle, minor miracle, to get Shenmue 1 and 2 made and kind of on the PS4 and that. It's also a minor miracle that Sakurai and the Smash Brothers team have managed to get every single Super Smash Brothers character all in one game. That in itself is a minor miracle, and it's also fantastic for the fans as well, because we've got a situation now where we can have Solid Snake versus Ryu, and Mr. Game & Watch, who has decided to make an appearance here in amiibo form, versus Mario, and Cloud versus Bayonetta, and all that sort of stuff. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful that we can do that now.
It is exciting to be able to have all these characters that we can play on Ultimate. I'm excited to see Snake versus Peach.
I wonder if this will be if this is almost like the last Smash Brothers, because I'm not. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, it's difficult to see where they are going to go next.
I guess they just do a Waluigi edition. I don't know.
Waluigi.
Because he's not in it as a main character, obviously.
No, I guess that's the sort of places you go to next, as those sort of characters.
Maybe this is it. Maybe we just have the Ultimate platform and they just keep adding to it, a bit like sort of what Dead or Alive tried to do a few years ago.
Yeah.
With Dead or Alive 5. I think it was free. I think you buy the extra stuff, but...
No, I think it's exciting that they're going back to the old format where you have to unlock the characters as you play. I really enjoyed that part of Smash.
That's cool.
I
like that. I hate just... I'm pretty sure in the last Smash, almost everything was unlocked right from the start.
Practically everything was. So I'm excited for that. I like having that and having to work for the new characters. So I think that'll be good.
3 different links.
Yeah, 3. 3 links. That is a lot of link.
It is.
Definitely a lot of link.
There are only 2 Marios, I think. Mario and Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
More links than Mario.
Interesting.
You know where Nintendo's bread is now buttered.
All over Link.
Yep. Linked up.
Are there any games that we haven't mentioned that
There's
you're excited for or that you want to discuss?
Not really. I mean, Yakuza 2 Kiwami in August.
Yeah.
But again, Sega have fucked that up, releasing it very close to not only Shenmue 1 and 2, but also Fist of the North Star, which is also coming out around that time. Mm-hmm. Which, if you're a fan of Yakuza, you will probably like Fist of the North Star because it's by the same team.
Yeah, they're all 3 quite similar sort of things, aren't they? Shenmue.
But, yeah, I mean, Yakuza Kiwami 2 would be cool. But yeah, I don't know what to make of the rest of this year. I don't think it's that strong, personally.
I think there's some good stuff coming. I'm just not sure whether it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, last year was a phenomenal year.
Definitely.
So
I think it's a good job that we have had God of War this year, because otherwise I think people would be struggling to find something that's been amazing this year.
There's not much this year so far that's been amazing. Like, I think
exactly.
The beginning of last year was very strong. Very, very strong. Zelda, Resident Evil 7, Nier Automata, Uncharted Lost Legacy came pretty early, Horizon, Yakuza 0. I mean, those things all came really early on. This year we've had God of War.
Detroit.
Even Detroit's May. We're getting in. All the titles I said were pretty much January, February, March.
Yeah, no.
I think so, anyway.
I mean, what have we had? Was that early. Bayonetta 1 and 2 remakes.
Yeah, again, remakes.
Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, I guess that was a bit of a sleeper hit. Dragon Ball Fighters, Fighter Z, whatever. Buzz Fighters.
A Way Out, people enjoyed that. I mean,
Yeah.
we still haven't got around to it.
No, I still probably need to play that, actually.
Yeah, it hasn't been as hard-hitting games as last year at all, no.
Next year's the year.
You heard it here first.
Next year we'll see Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, how could we forget we had a Metal Gear game this year?
We are trying to forget. Yeah, so next year I see Metroid Prime 4. I see in my crystal ball, obviously, the next Pokemon game. I see Death Stranding. I see Ghost of Tsushima. I see...
Ghost of Tsushima looks really good.
I even see an Xbox game of some description. Maybe 2 if you're lucky. Or maybe just a new Xbox console. Who knows? But
who knows what Microsoft and Xbox are up to?
I don't know. Well, you probably find out in the studios they bought, to be honest with
What
you.
I would quite like is for some of the Sims 4 DLC for PC to go down in price a lot.
Okay.
Because that is extortionate. And some of the new DLC is quite cool.
What about if Sims 4 was on the Switch?
I would probably buy it tomorrow.
Everything should be on the Switch.
Everything should.
Even the PlayStation games.
Well, that might be a step too far.
Halo.
I don't know about that.
Halo on the Switch.
I don't know. That might be a bit weird.
Just imagine.
I like Halo.
You turn your Switch on and it immediately goes da 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 da.
That would be quite cool. I would quite like that, to be fair. I would not say no to that.
Well, hey, they're collaborating on Minecraft and putting adverts out to stick the middle finger up at Sony with the crossplay at the minute. So you never know.
That's true.
You never
know with Nintendo. And I think that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you everyone for listening. Do make sure to go to our site. Obviously, if you're not already on there, pauseresume.com. Check us out on Twitter @pauseresume_.
That's it for now because I still cannot get @pauseresume because someone is still sitting on it. I have even lobbied Twitter about this and spoken to the higher ups at Twitter who continue to refuse to get back to me because apparently I'm not important enough. So
if everyone else can for us, that would be great.
Yeah.
Also, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Just search Pause Resume. And you can find us everywhere. We are everywhere.
Are we?
Good night.
Good night.